All right, let's see what we can do with these rear doors here. I have a vague idea of kind of what I want to do. I'm thinking just whatever the maximum height and breadth that I can do here, just do cabinets. And I have about 7 inches or so right here as far as depth here, and then whatever the width is that I can have on the edge here without interfering with the other doors, similar cabinet. And we'll see what happens. Don't really know what I'm gonna do, so I might sit here for a second, think about it, and then get to work. Okay, so the way this is working for attaching the rear cabinets to my doors using the plus nuts, so I'm not drilling into my doors, I'm using the plus nuts that I installed a long time ago. I have my hanger bolts here, which are awesome and have lasted throughout the whole van build, and these are sticking out of 3 plus nuts that are inside this door behind a layer of Easy Cool and now behind this burlap, which I'm not sure was a good idea, but it's here. So these are sticking right here, and the way that I did this one over here, you can see I have my bolts in here, 1, 2, 3. Those are 3 plus nut locations. I had the hanger bolts in there. I took this shelf and I set it just like this one, and it's on a little spacer here, so I know that it's high enough to fit when the door closes. And then I'm gonna shut this door, and I'm just gonna bang the back of this cabinet against those hanger bolts so that they make a little divot, and then in that exact spot, I drill a hole slightly larger than the bolts I'm using, which are these right here. And then I just have a washer on there, and I drill through that hole, and it catches in the plus nut, and then it pulls this perfectly strong and tight against here, and I can take this down. So I'm going to actually take these down as soon as I mount them so that I can paint them, and then to put them back up, it'll be real easy. I just put the bolts back in, fish them into the plus nuts, and drill them in. Very simple, really nice to not have to drill into the van, and I can take them down, work on them, paint them, do whatever I want, stain them, without having to worry about having drilled into the van and it being permanent. So pretty exciting. And because it's the theme of every single van build episode, I refuse to stop working when it gets dark, even though it means the filming is awful. I'm going to take my Royal Interior Paint and Primer all in one. I know that it's better if you do 2 because it's more durable and everything, but I'm running out of daylight here, so let's get to work. I'm gonna do the first coat of paint, probably 2 or 3 coats overall, just because it'll be awkward to get parts that I can't reach. So I'm gonna do everything that's kind of just sitting where it is right now, and then tomorrow flip them, do the other sides, and then probably do 1 more coat each side. But let's see what happens. I gotta stir this, open it up, stir it, get my paintbrush, start painting. Hello, we're going to try to finish the cabinets tonight. They're like rear door cabinets. They're all painted and then sealed with a layer of that clear coat, the same stuff I used on the inside of the toilet, just so that it's cleanable and also slightly resistant to both scuffs and then also occasional water, because I don't intend on getting them wet per se, but if it rains and my back doors are open and for a minute or two they get wet, I don't want them being ruined just from that. So they're painted, clear coated, and now I have the parts as well for the drawbridge type doors on the front here. So we will take them back, try to put those drawbridge type doors on there. I'm not really sure if it's gonna work. I kind of just tried to figure it all out on Amazon and then ordered all the pieces up. But if it does, we should be able to get these up in under an hour or so. But let's see, let's get to work. My hope is that these will go on just like this. So mounted here and here, just like this, and then be two drawbridge-esque type experiences. Okay, so we have these beautiful bronze / antique bronze finish hinges right here. My hope is to put them under each side like this, so 2 on each. Maybe should have done 3, honestly, since it's such a wide span, but I don't think we have enough. So since this cupboard is wider, this door is wider than that door, and therefore this cupboard is much wider. It's like, I think it's actually 6 inches or so wider than the other one. I'm going to use 3 because I have just enough to use 3 on each of these doors and 2 on the other one. So we'll use 3 on each of these, and I'll just slip them under here, mount them to the bottom of this, and then also to the actual cabinet. And then I just have to find a way to do that so that it's level and flat and straight. Okay, rear cabinets finished. These were a little bit more painful than I thought they'd be. One, because mounting them to the bolts in the van, the plus nuts, because I have a layer of easy cool and then 2 layers of burlap over it, it made finding the little holes to run the screws into very difficult while holding these 30-pound things up with one arm and trying to screw with the other arm. Anyway, long story short, eventually I got smart and I actually cut a little hole around each plus nut because you can't see behind here, so there's no point in trying to protect the burlap or the easy cool. Cut a small hole, went back up here, and was able to screw them in much easier that time. Also, all of the hinges and everything were very difficult to mount because you have to make sure, or I tried to make sure that they were flush with the top when closed, so that this piece right here was actually flush with the top, and it's almost there. It's a little crooked, but I'm fine with it. And then also to make sure the bottom one is far enough down from this top one, the top of the bottom one is far enough down from the bottom of the top one, still with me, that they both can open and close fine, but then that the bottom is not overlapping. And I made them as big as possible because 1, it gives me more surface area to use as a table if I want to, and then 2, I think it looks better to have more flush surface rather than a gap. So if I'm parked on a more or less level surface, I can open these and they will be little tables. So for instance, so I take the garden little hanger plant thing here out of the catch, put it into this front hook, release the catch, let it come down, and there, this chain is more or less taut, this chain is a little bit more taut, but they're both pretty close. And then I would never put anything super heavy on here, but I could put my laptop on here, I could put drinks on here, I could put food on here, and this is sealed as well with a clear coat, so hopefully it will resist the weather, etc. So yeah, then this also opens up the inside, which is the little cubby area, and there's the same thing on both sides, one smaller upper one and one larger lower one. And the final complicated piece of this is getting them to be able to close in this small space. So as you can see here, we have a very limited space between this, which is a solid piece of furniture, and where the van ends. That's only a couple of inches. As it happens, I think it's 6.5 or so, and I built my cabinets to be 6 inches deep because I wanted to maximize the depth. One thing that I did encounter, one mistake, I had to dig out this little piece right here, if you can see that, because this is about an inch or a half an inch or 3/4 of an inch deep, so it was hitting the cabinet when it was closing. Everything went perfectly right up until that moment, but that's okay. I gouged out this piece. I'm just gonna probably stain it so that it's the same color as the brown, and then you would have to look pretty closely to be able to see it. But that was the only mistake I encountered, fortunately, which is amazing. And this side closes great.